Hey everybody, welcome to Cruise Ship Explorers, another week. Here we are. I couldn't be more excited about this guest. This guest is actually a friend of mine that I've known for many years, and I've watched her career grow. What is her name, Rachel?
Oh, we are going to be talking to DJ Brickhouse, otherwise known as Victoria Brickhouse, but I call her DJ Brickhouse.
She has been around the world, and we're super excited. She's an amazing DJ, MC. Oh my God, I cannot wait to hear what she has to say about her adventures.
And not only that, she's got some words for you unruly cruisers.
Oh, it's going to be exciting. She's got some stuff to say. But anyway, Rachel, they want to see more stuff. What do they need to do?
Don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell. That way you get a notification every time a new episode is put up.
And we're going to try and do those episodes each week. They're going to feature entertainers, staff, chefs, cruise directors. Also, cruisers themselves are going to tell their stories. And also, we're going to have special guest celebrities that perform on theme cruises, which are becoming so big. So what do you say we get started with Brickhouse? Let's go. Welcome to Cruise Ship Explorers. Today's show is going to be amazing, Rachel. You know who we have with us?
I am so excited because I haven't talked to her in forever. Lots of catching up to do.
DJ Brickhouse, an amazing, I wait until you hear what she has to say today. Just the depth of her life story and what she's done. It's just so amazing. So welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. I love you guys, and I'm so happy to be here, and I can't wait to hear all of your other blogs too.
Yeah, so I don't even know the backstory of how you found cruise ship life and even ventured into that world. So can you give us the how you even got interested in working for cruise ships?
Yeah, actually, I wanted to travel, and I wanted to get paid to travel. So I started looking into teaching English, but I started noticing there's a lot of money I had to put out first before I started making money, and there was a lot of uncertainty. Where would I live? How would I get a job? You know, and just all this stuff. So I'm like, well, I've been DJing. I have a solid, background in that, but I don't know how, like, getting a job in a cruise ship is like kind of like a secret society. So I didn't really know how to do it. So I was like, and I didn't even know if I'd like to live on a cruise ship, never been on a ship. My dad was like, I cruise all the time and I think you'd be perfect. I think you could definitely, deal with the lifestyle. So, why don't you go for it? So I'm like, okay. So I started looking. The only cruise line I really knew about was Carnival. So yep. I went on their website and I found it, or I think I saw like an Instagram or Facebook link, and I started, I applied and I didn't hear anything back. But then I started reading, like I would be up all night for 6 months, like just reading, listening to the blogs, reading different articles about what it's like. And I heard, okay, they get 5,000 applications a day. Just for one DJ, they get 5,000 applications every single day. So I'm like, well, how the heck are they going to see mine? So I would just apply every 2 to 3 hours every day for 6 months. Finally, I got an answer. Somebody got back to me. And I was like, I had a little bit of knowledge from, doing weddings and mitzvahs and stuff like that, but not so much as like some of the more well-rounded, well-known DJs. So I interviewed with Alex Dina. If any DJ that works in the cruise industry would know Alex.
Sure.
And he was willing to give me a chance. I linked up with Rob Nautical from Traveling DJs. He's really big in the industry. And he helped me to make a press kit and tell me what video I need to submit, how I should be, because you don't know what to submit. So, I needed to submit a couple headshots. I needed to submit a promo video of myself interacting with the crowd on the microphone, playing open format music, showing them kind of like an audition of what I do at home. But it had to be live footage, not like I'd just be like, hey, I'm going to come to your house and pretend to DJ really quick. You know what I mean? Live in action. And I didn't know how to put that together, so I hired somebody to put it together, like different video clips and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And a couple mixes. I recorded a lot. So you have 60-minute mix, like a 7-minute video, and your headshots. Send that in, and then you go through an interview process. Hey, have you ever traveled? Do you have a passport? Do you know what cruise ships or life is being like that? Do you have a family? Can you be away from your family for all this time? Like, what if you don't have the food that you like? What if, like, how are you going to actually forget all the music and DJ? How are you going to actually be as a person living on a cruise ship? Do you think you can hack it? And I'm just like, I did all the research. I'm pretty sure I can,
Yeah.
And they gave me the information. Then I had to go through a second interview, and they really liked me. And then I got sent to Carnival Cruise Lines Spiniversity. It's like
Wow.
Spiniversity?
Yes,
Spiniversity sounds like boot camp for
It kind of.
cruisers,
Yeah. So what it was is like they flew me and a couple other DJs out to Miami to the Carnival Corporation, and they put us in like a hotel. And every day we'd have like a teaching session on like what to wear, how to interact with the crowd, what music to play for certain events, what to play, what not to play, how to interact, what's appropriate, what's not. Because you may think that like Juvenile Back That Ass Up is a perfect song to play on the Lido deck.
Sure.
Because
Yep.
people are twerking and getting ready to go. However, you don't notice Karen and her family over there. So if you don't play that during the right time, she's going to complain, and it's going to be, we're never going to be able to play that song again. So,
Exactly.
You may be a great scratch artist, but like, I'm sitting there at the pool with my family just trying to chill with a margarita. Like, I don't give a shit about your scratching. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear
Right.
Margaritaville. You know what I'm saying? And
Sweet Caroline, Uptown Funk,
or-
September.
Exactly. Some Dua Lipa, some Lizzo.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to hear you cutting and scratching and playing like battle hip hop tracks.
Right,
and a
right,
lot
right.
of DJs don't realize that there's so many elements to DJing. So just in that interview, you find out right there. And a lot of people will just fake it till they make it. Yeah, I can do that. Yep, I can do that. And they,
Sure.
they ran and did that video really quick. But then when they get to the ship, ooh, do they get another, because
Yeah,
they don't
so-
know.
I guess that would be the question for me, would be like, is there a supervisor or a head person that is watching what you're doing, critiquing you, making sure you actually didn't bullshit them on your way into getting the gig? And then here's the big question. What if you got the gig, you're on the ship, you pass everything, but you don't know how to do shit the
Yeah,
way
you
they want
suck.
you to do it? So what happens there?
So there's a couple of things. So when we went into Spiniversity, not only did we visit each ship, we got the classroom knowledge, but then we got to go on a ship. And then we watched the DJs in action. And then towards the end of the day, we DJ'd a set. And that DJ and our boss could critique us and say, hey, listen, you were great on the mic, but you didn't mix the songs a little bit. Like you were kind of chopping the songs together. Or I loved you on the mic, but your song selection didn't fit the crowd. So that way we were a little bit more prepared when we go to our first ship. When you go to your first ship, you're eager. With Carnival, they provide the music, they provide the equipment, they provide everything. With other cruise lines, you provide the music typically, and they provide like the controllers and the equipment. Sometimes you still bring your own equipment because everything is always broke on a ship.
Right, of course, yeah. I mean,
Oh, we've
when we
heard
were on the
that.
ship, I've not only that, but just looking when I'm always looking at the equipment. I'm looking at the drummer's drum kit. I'm like, ooh, that's I don't know how he's playing on
working
that.
in a band, and working in a band, like you just look at the drum kit in the studio. You know what I mean? Like it gets,
Exactly. Yeah.
It's from other people using it. Somebody likes to put their drink on it all the time.
Of
This
course.
person
Yeah,
smokes
yeah,
and they
yeah.
got like ashes on it. This person always has lotion on their hands. So it's always
Yeah,
greasy.
yeah.
So just things like that. So once you get to the ship, it's like a whirlwind. Like you just get all this information, and it's like passport, laws of different countries. Like you have to go to be on a cruise ship. If you're not like a guest entertainer, that's going to
Yep.
be on there less than 30 days. You have to get what's called a medical form. Like
Okay.
I forget, the ENG1 is the name of the medical.
Okay.
You pay anywhere from $200 to $500 depending on what country you're in. They just give you a physical markup. If you have something like diabetes, you may not be fit for sea. If you have like something like you broke your back and you have like a vertebrae that may cause you to have issues while you're at sea, then you won't be fit
Right.
at sea. But pretty
Gotcha.
much, like, I have asthma. As long as I have my inhaler, I'm fine. So, get your medical. So you have to have your passport, your medical. They send you a contract. You have that. They send you a manual. So you have all the rules and regulations, what's expected of you, all that stuff like that. And this is after all the interviews you go to. You get to the ship, and it's just like, usually they fly you out a day before. They put you in and you're responsible for getting yourself to the airport. They pay for your flight. You go on the flight. They usually have someone take you from the airport to the hotel. You're in a hotel with all these random people, and you look and you just know they're on a cruise ship because they look like, I'm in this foreign land and I don't know where I'm going, but tomorrow I'll be okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So you know, like, you're sitting at dinner and you know this guy, like, you work on the ship. Where are you from? Philippines? Where you work at? Like, the bar? Okay, cool.
Yep.
I'm the DJ. And then you meet friends right away. That's the one thing about cruising is you're terrified and you don't know what's going on. Even though people pretend like they're not, everyone is like, what the heck am I getting myself into?
Yeah.
But you always meet somebody else that has that same look on your face, and then you become pals and you're, okay, if they can do it, I can do it, or we're going to do it together. So you get to, the bus drops you off into the big, huge cruise terminal. Now, as a cruiser, it's super fun. It's cool. I'm getting ready for a vacation. As an employee, I think it's terrifying, especially if you've never been on a ship before, because the ship is massive. It's like 3, 4, 5 city blocks. And you're like, holy shit, I'm going to be in charge of the entertainment for this and all of these people. You thought DJing in a cruise in a club in AC was cool, or a big wedding with a band for 500 people.
Right.
This is a whole nother level.
It is.
And then somebody picks you up, usually from the crew office. They get all your documents. They check to make sure you have everything right, and then you go right to work right then. You drop your shit off in your cabin. You have training because you have to know what watertight doors are and just certain things that don't come into play when you're on land. Like, we don't have watertight doors on land.
And this is a day before the cruise.
No, this is as soon as you get on the ship. You got your bags, you got your stuff, and you get on the ship. They bring you to you go to the crew office. They get all your documents. You get your room key. You get maybe walk to your room. If not, figure it out and just wander around, and somebody will be like, are you lost? Yep. And then you get there. And typically, depending on where you are, if you're crew, you're on the bottom level of the ship. So you're out of the guest area into the crew level area, and it's just big blue and white hallways and just random people running this way and that way, and you and your bags, like, what the fuck? Okay.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's when you have to get in your head, like, all right, I got this. Yo, where do I go for C555? And somebody's like, oh, don't worry. I've been there. They help you with your bags, walk you down, get in your room. You've got a schedule of trainings right then. Drop your stuff, find out where it is. Nobody can walk you really. Find out where your trainings are. And these are things that will help you with safety on the ship. So how to put on your life jacket. What are the watertight doors? Where are the exits? Where are the muster stations? All that stuff like that. Because if you don't know, then you're going to probably get in trouble, because we have Coast Guard trainings. We have people that ask us questions. The guests are going to ask us questions. Plus, we need to know for ourselves. Right. So once you do all the trainings, then you have to actually DJ. Same day you got on the cruise and you're like, whoa, holy shit. Okay. Get your shit.
Do they give you a schedule of where you're going to be DJing? Like, here's your schedule of the day. You're going to be on the pool deck. You're going to be here or there.
Yep.
What's the situation?
After all your trainings and everything, then they tell you that you probably will DJ on the Lido deck for sail away. Now, in between this time, you're probably starving and you're wondering.
I was going to say.
You can eat all this lovely food that's on the buffet. Wrong.
No.
If you're on the crew list, you will eat in the crew mess, and the crew mess has certain times, and those times don't usually fit into the DJ schedule. So you starve unless you bring your own snacks.
I would fail day one. Like, I would have to make a conscientious effort to avoid the buffet, because I'd be sneaking some You know,
won't even be able
putting
to
it in my pocket.
You won't even be able
on my
to.
way to my
As
gig.
soon as you roll up to the buffet, they will be looking at you. Somebody will even take your plate out of your hand, like, this is for the guests. Sorry, the crew mess is there.
Oh my
Like,
God.
no, it's not. Like, they won't even give you a hot dog. Like, no, sorry, this is for the guests.
Yeah,
They have
I'm fired
eyes
on
all
day
over.
one. I'm fired on day one. I'm telling
So,
you.
That's-
obviously, I bring
mean-
snacks and everything, like, because, you know, it's such a whirlwind and, you know, all this stuff. So you get to sail away and you DJ the sail away. You have certain songs, and some ships, you have certain songs you play. There's certain entertainers, stuff like that. And then you have like a quick break, typically after sail aways, usually from like 4 to 6. Something like
Okay.
that. It's a big to do on the Lido deck, all the guests and everything. Then after that, it's kind of like dinner time for everybody. So there's all kinds of activities. Shows are coming up and stuff. So you have a downtime. You can hurry up, run to the crew mess, go unpack really quick, check with your family. Hey, I'm alive. I'm all good.
Yeah.
But you need,
exactly.
to actually find out the information to sign into the internet, and then you pay for the internet as well out of your paycheck. It's not free.
No free internet.
No free internet. No.
I'd be broke. I'd be done.
Yeah.
You know, just
Now-
take my check and I'll write you a check.
Right
You know.
now, sometimes you get free internet on WhatsApp, so that it's because it's an emergency. You know, it's like a way for you to be able to keep in touch with your family and stuff like that.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
other than that, like, not really. You got to pay
Wow.
for that internet. It's probably like $60 a month, something like that. For some people, that's a big chunk out of their check. So,
Of course,
you know,
yeah.
that's why you see the crew running out in port and like all huddled into some place that has free Wi-Fi, because they can't really
Yep.
afford the Wi-Fi on the ship, or
Of
it's
course.
just not as good and you really need to do stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Now,
this
how many?
is all still the first day.
And well, let me ask this side question: how many
Sure.
DJs do they hire on a cruise? Is it just
like-
you, or
So typically
how many?
it's one DJ. Depending on the line, they have one crew staff DJ, or they'll have one pro DJ. So the crew staff DJ does DJing and also does like hosting the games and trivias and stuff
Yeah.
that you see the crew staff doing. A pro
Sure.
DJ or guest DJ only DJs.
Okay.
So sometimes they're getting smarter now. Well, they'll use a crew DJ and a guest DJ, because a lot of times that crew DJ is just getting their foot wet in DJing, so they don't have the extensive knowledge of the pro DJs, whether it be mixing, blending, mic skills, or song selection, how to put the songs together, and what library. Because like I said, Carnival provides a library. But if you don't
Yeah.
know that Journey, you know, goes with Bon Jovi, you know what I mean, or whatever, then it, you know, if I'm playing Journey 1 minute and then like Taylor Swift next minute, and then like, I don't know, Little Uzi Vert the next minute, it may not go as well. But a pro DJ
Right.
knows that and knows how to put the sets together.
They can transition you through the time period, so it's not so harsh.
Exactly. So a lot of times they'll do 2 DJs, a pro DJ and a crew staff DJ. If you get really lucky and the line really appreciates the DJ and entertainment, you'll get 2 pro DJs. So when
Okay.
I went to Virgin, we were doing 2 pro DJs. But since
that's cool.
then, they have now went with 1 crew DJ and 1, you know, guest DJ or guest artist.
And are
instead.
you responsible now that you have some experience, you know, knowing what to do? Are you responsible for training these new DJs that come aboard, you know, and watching after them?
So that's a double-edged sword. On Carnival, yes, I was the pro DJ, so he would filter all the new what are they called? Host DJs with me, and I
Sure.
could show them the ropes and everything like that. But if I show them the ropes and they're too good, then what do you need me for?
Exactly.
Right.
So you
Yeah,
give them,
so
lead them to the water and let them figure out how to drink. If
Just
That's
like
smart.
you did. Just like you did, right?
But if you don't like them, if you don't think they will be a good fit, you just let them fall on their ass, you know, especially if they're cocky about it too, you
Yeah.
know, but if they're not going to represent the culture well, then sorry, I don't really have
Yeah.
much advice for you. But if I know that you're serious, you're going to represent the culture well, and you're not going to get in trouble for kissing a guest one day, or, you know, being too drunk or stupid, you're really going to take the opportunity and run with it, then I got you and I'll definitely help you out. But it's not typically like a requirement, because you're kind of, even though we're a team, it's a conflict of interest, because if I make you too good, then you take my job.
And there's limited positions. Like you said, there's one pro DJ. And so that makes sense why they get 5,000 applications and you never hear from them. And it's not like so much shoving CDs down and trying to get that weddings. There's plenty of weddings, plenty of bar mitzvahs or bat mitzvahs to, pitch yourself to. But for a cruise ship, there is one or two for the entire ship. So the competition must be insane for that type of position.
Yep. So say they have 10 ships in the fleet. That means 10 guest DJ, guest entertainer DJs. That's it. You'd probably say 15 in the roster. Forever. That's it. Until somebody rolls out. And we typically do anywhere from 1 month to 6 month contracts. Okay. So that leaves, let's see, even if we only did 3 month contracts, even if you only did 1 month contracts, that only leaves 12 contracts for 15 DJs.
Sure.
And what is the average? Like, what do people like to do?
For us, for somebody like me, when it's, depending on your schedule, for me, January and February is cold and slow. So I'd rather be warm and working. So I go on the cruise ship because not only am I at the beach in the Caribbean, all this stuff, I'm getting a paycheck and I'm not scrapping with all these other DJs to get the money and carrying equipment and do all this stuff. When it starts to be getting into March, April, May, you're getting busier. So it's a toss up, you know what I mean? Depending on what the cruise ship pays, because a cruise ship can pay anywhere from $1,000 a month to $10,000 a month, depending on your skill, the line, your position, and everything. So if you're on the 1,000 track, right, when it gets to be like April, you could probably do a mitzvah or a wedding and make that 1,000 in one day rather than working for 30 days straight. You know what I mean? Dealing with everybody's shit on the cruise ship. And because, people forget to pack their manners. Like, people think it's just a vacation working on a cruise ship as a DJ, but it's not. People are assholes.
And
oh my God, I can imagine.
Staff, but the guests as well.
I'm not talking about the staff. I'm talking about the guests.
Yes.
They
just
guests.
pack everything. Yeah, they leave it on shore and they just it's almost like there's no consequence once you get on a cruise ship and you're like,
wow. Minions, and we need to do what they want because it's their vacation, but they don't realize that it's 3,000 other people's vacation.
Exactly.
We'll get into that.
But my vacation is more special than all of their vacations.
Exactly, and I want to hear this, so you need to play it now or I'm going to go complain. And then if I go complain, then not only will I get free drinks and I'll hear my song. And you'll have to do whatever I say for the rest of the cruise. So that's kind of how some people's attitude are. Other attitudes are, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. You really made my vacation. Other attitudes are, why are you talking to me? You're the help.
We see it. We see it. In fact, we see funny stuff like on the last cruise we did. We see we'll see drunk musicians going, hey, I'm a drummer. I can play. And you see the band trying to handle it and go, first of all, you're completely wasted out of your skull. So even if you were amazing, you're not going to be able to play. And we're watching all this go down. And I'm thinking, oh my God, how do they handle it? But most people handle it totally pro, what I mean? Because they're used to it. And, from your standpoint, it's just a 360 from the standpoint of, why can't you play my requests? I want to hear this. I want to hear that. And you're trying to play it off, So it's, you have to jump around, these hoops, and it's not an easy job. That's the thing.
No. It isn't at all. And you could be in the middle of an 80s party. Clearly it's an 80s party because it says 80s party.
80s.
And we've been prepping you for the 80s party on this day for the whole cruise. So if you hate 80s music, why do you come to the 80s party and badger the DJ to play 90s or something new or something else during the 80s party? And if you're a former DJ, you know what I'm doing right now. So why are you even coming up to me and trying to have a conversation with when I'm trying to pay attention to the cruise director, pay attention to the dancer, pay attention to the crowd? you know better than that. So like if you were really such a former DJ, good as how you said, you would have been like, "Hey DJ, what's up? I'm a DJ too. I'll catch up with you later. Great job. Bye." You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Get out in the crowd and start rocking, you know what I mean? Like come on.
It's-
When people are like, "Oh my god, they're playing 80s. I wish they're playing Taylor Swift." It's your job to be in the crowd and be like, "Hey man, let the DJ do their job, man."
Right. No,
Exactly.
it's we see it all go down. So I always look at like the entertainers, no matter what entertainer it is, from a lounge entertainer to the DJ or even to the cruise director, because they're out there in the front trying to get people motivated and dance and contest and do whatever they do. It's not an easy job. I think being in the entertainment world, we understand it, but the regular people just have zero clue. And that's why I love hearing that from you. You know, that brings me to like another question from the standpoint of like cruise life friends that you meet on a cruise ship. Who do you find yourself bonding with? Is it more entertainers, stick with entertainers? Do you bond with the chefs, the bartenders, or where do you see yourself in that world these days?
So, as a guest entertainer, it could be a little bit tricky. So schedules in general pretty much are like if you're bar staff or if you're restaurant staff, you probably work 12-hour days, like 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. with a short break between like around 5 o'clock. So, you know, and then when you go to the crew bar, everybody that's off at, 11 or 12, because there is a crew bar. Sometimes we call it church.
Right? Yeah. I could see why.
Amen.
You end up hanging out with those people that got off at 11. They're in the crew bar by 12. So all those people that are in by 12, if you work in entertainment, you probably aren't getting done till 12. So you're in the rush of the people that come in around 12:30, trying to hurry up and get their last drink before it closes at 1. Now,
Right.
if you're a DJ, you can go to the crew bar at 6 p.m. when nobody else can go, really, because
Oh,
you're
wow.
usually working from 10 p.m. till 2 a.m. or 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. All the hours during where it's social hour and all the crew is hanging out together. So it's kind of a lonely position because you're there by yourself.
Of course.
The people you end up hanging out with are the people that have more free time, like the singers, the dancers, but they're kind of cliquey within themselves because they're
would think so.
auditioning together, they're dancing together, they just went to rehearsals together, they're, they live in the same quarters. Some people have roommates, some people don't, depends on your rank. I am guest entertainer, so I don't take any position that has roommates. That's one of the reasons I quit Carnival.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can't do the roommate thing. I need my proper sleep. I need my space. The quarters are small enough. I have had couple roommates, hey Georgia, hey Sabrina, that were really
Right.
amazing.
Right.
And we're still friends till this day.
That's awesome.
From Wales and also Canada.
Okay.
And everybody is great. So it typically isn't the person. Like I had, Claudia, it wasn't you. I just didn't like the living situation.
No, Claudia, not you.
No, but like
So-
if you're working with somebody, if I don't get done work until 3 or 4 a.m. and they're getting up at 5 a.m., where's, you know what I mean? And then
That's
our schedules
crazy.
are so crazy. You work 2 hours here, you have 2 hours off here. So you're racing. I'm in the bed. They're racing in with putting the lights on, trying to get their makeup, trying to get dressed. They're trying to do their job too. You know what I mean? But then when they have to get up at 6 a.m., I'm rolling in at 3 a.m. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
like, can I
of
put
course.
the TV on? Like what? So the roommate situation doesn't work with me.
And how does that work within the cruise line? Do you have to be a certain status, or is there
Yeah, you have to be a certain rank. Yeah,
rank? And
so-
is there is there certain cruise lines that allow you to get your own room? Like you said, Carnival
Yeah.
is not one of
Carnival, as a DJ, you will not get your own room, no matter what.
Okay.
You could be a superstar. That's just, it is what it is. And partly is because you see there's 2,000 cruisers, but there's also like 1,500 staff members. So you got to have a place to put them. And if you work in like the galley or something like that, shout out to the galley folks. Like they're awesome.
Galley
but they
in the
kind of
house.
get the lower end of the shift. So it's like 4 of them sharing a cabin. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah, in one room. Sometimes they have a Jack and Jill bathroom. I know that I think on Virgin, if you share, if you have a shared space, you have your own room, but you have a Jack and Jill bathroom that you share.
Okay.
So that could be
Okay.
a situation too. If you're a guest entertainer, like a fly-on guest entertainer, which are the people that are usually take the main stage, they've been on stuff like So You Think You Can Dance, American
right.
Idol, like whatever,
Okay.
America's Got Talent. Like, so they have a little bit more of a status. They'll get a guest room. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And as when I went to Virgin as a guest artist, you get a guest room with a balcony and a cabin. You can order room service, like all this stuff.
Wow.
Like they treat you like rock stars. Like I really loved my experience there.
And what's the difference, would you say, like between Virgin and Carnival? So from the standpoint of like, what leads you to the Carnival side working more? Or I mean, here we go.
Yeah, I can
We're
already
gonna
see where
talk
this
some
is
dirt.
going.
Dance.
We're going. Well, don't worry. We'll just mute everything
Anything
out.
that I may say that's offensive to anybody, because I have respect for all of the cruise lines and everybody that works them. But I would say that, and I haven't worked all the cruise lines, but for me, my kind of bottom of the barrel experience for crew life was Carnival. And that just means not because of the crew I was with, because they're fantastic and I still have friends to this day.
Sure.
But meaning like you don't have that guest status like other lines. Your crew, you eat in the crew area, you have a safety duty. So not on top of your DJing duties, you still have to get up at whatever time in the morning for the drill. You know what I mean? On Carnival. So you don't have as much freedom and guest status. Princess, and then you're still a pro DJ. With Princess, you're a guest entertainer DJ. So if you're a fly-on guest entertainer with like a 2-week contract, you'll get a guest room, but you can't order room service. You get a guest room, but you can't go to crew bar. So like, for instance, the difference, if you go get a bottle of water in crew bar, it's a big bottle of water like this for 70 cents. If you go get a bottle of water in the guest area, it's a normal bottle like this for like $7. So that's when you gotta be like, yo man, I'll give you $5, give me some water in the crew bar. Or you talk to the cruise. Back to one of your other questions, you have the entertainment director, you have the hotel director who's in charge of everybody. You have the entertainment director who's in charge of all of entertainment, even the cruise director, the cruise staff, the DJs, the everything. Then you have the music manager who's in charge of like the band, the bass player, the the violin trio, and then you have but he also does the DJ schedule, which is weird, right? But he's not your boss. And then you have the cruise director who you kind of get direction from if they need you for different activities, but they're not. The entertainment director is the person who does your review. If you get in trouble, you get a meeting with so you're under the entertainment director, but you work also with the cruise director and the music manager. So you have all those umbrellas under you and over you.
I don't even know how you keep
like
it straight. Yeah, so that's so tough to keep straight. But once you're on there, I am sure you understand who's in charge of what and all that good stuff.
Yep, you get a schedule.
I was going to say, my point is just from hearing your view and knowing the entertainment industry, I would think from just somebody starting out and me being, a producer and stuff like that, that Carnival is actually a good place to start out because you're getting everything thrown at you and you're not having those luxury items where you can get spoiled right away. Not that you're getting spoiled because it's not like super luxury, but you know what I'm saying? You're getting the treatment there that if you go work on Virgin, you may like, oh, this ship is every ship is like this, and then you go over to Carnival, you're like, what the hell? So
Carnival is the perfect place to start because you have a little bit of status, but you also get the nitty gritty of what it is like to work on a cruise ship. So I'm so thankful for my experience with Carnival because I probably wouldn't be able to going through the different. Going and living at a resort in Mexico, going in and working, going to different cruise lines and being able to navigate the different experiences without my experience from Carnival. And also the safety information that I learned from those safety drills that I dreaded getting up for, I use in life everywhere. And those skills that you learn that I learned in Carnival, in the nitty gritty, being thrown in it and craziness, have shaped me to be a better human. And there's still some people that I probably would never have came in path and cross paths with, but still to this day, I went on a Carnival cruise and I was sitting there and I was like, weren't you in my muster station 6 years ago? And the guy's like, DJ, yes. And like, you know, all the way from the Philippines, like totally different ranks, totally different. But because I had
Right.
to have a duty during the safety demonstrations, I meet a lot of people, and I don't walk around like, oh, I'm a guest entertainer, darling, because some people do.
Right.
And some people feel like if you're a guest entertainer, I can't interact with you because how the rank system is set up, you know, but I am the type of person that I appreciate everybody, whether you're my cabin steward, whether you are we get a cabin steward. Yes, that comes in.
That's
their
great.
room. Yeah,
That's a little
or
comfort
you're
right
in
there.
the galley, or you're, you know, the person who cleans the club at night. I'm friends with everybody. So I make friends with, I hang out with everybody. Whoever can come hang out at that time and who's cool and it's not going to be a bunch of drama and not going to get us in trouble or anything, that's who I hang out with. Because if you go, say, and you hang out with this person and they want to go find drugs, you know what I mean, in port.
Yeah.
Everybody sees you together. So now it's assumed that I'm getting drugs in port. So what happens
Right.
if he comes home, it comes back and he smells like drugs? Then, you know, or whatever, you know.
They're just gonna assume
no
it's
problem,
you.
smoke a joint, but you know what I mean? What if you come back and you smell like weed and I was with you? Then we're both in trouble. Or
Of course,
you
yeah,
drink
you
too
have-
much and you don't realize that back on board it's 5 o'clock and it's 4:43. Like, I want to hang out with responsible people. We're gonna have some drinks, but we're not gonna drink too much. If you want
Right.
to do this or that, you're gonna do it in a responsible manner so that we're not gonna get in trouble when we get back. What the guests are always watching and trying to find out what we're doing and think, you know. And then there's
Oh, yeah.
other people that because you are able to eat in the buffet and they aren't, they love to get you in trouble. Or you
Of
don't
course.
realize that this guy is an officer and works with the captain and you're just sitting on the corner smoking a joint, but he sees you. So he tells the captain, now, you know what I mean? Like, just little
Yeah,
things.
you
Like,
gotta
I may
be super
paranoid,
careful.
But that shit ain't worth my job. So
No, not at all. So that, I mean, like, I'm curious, going from cruise line to cruise line, and you have to do all the training and the medical and all that. How does that work if you jump from, say, Carnival to Virgin to Princess? Do you have
Right.
to retake all that stuff? Do you have to go through all
no,
the
you
training
pay for
again?
it on your own. And I had to fly
Okay.
to Florida to get it because they don't do it in Philly anymore.
Okay.
And New York was way too expensive. And they when you get an STCW, which is a security training certificate.
Sure.
That is universal through all.
Oh, it is.
Excuse me, through all cruise lines. Yeah.
Okay.
And then certain things like you have to be certified through that line. So if I did like the safety and security, the disability, we have so many different trainings, environmental on one line. I still have to do it on another line. Even with
Okay.
the class of ship. If I was on like I don't know, like the Caribbean Princess, that's a smaller class ship. When I go to the Royal Princess, I have to go through the trainings again because it's a different. And when I went to Virgin, I didn't have to go through any of that. So I kind of felt like, oh my gosh, well, what happens if there's an emergency? Nobody told me anything because
Right.
I'm so used to, you know, that. But that's the luxury of being a guest artist. You don't have to worry about that. Somebody will take care of it. But I'm like, nah, I kind of want to worry about that.
Yeah. Have you had a chance to cruise as a guest?
I have. I did. I cruised as a guest with Carnival just last year, and I really enjoyed it. I loved it.
Yeah,
I would
tell
cruise
us about
again.
that
It was
experience.
different. And the DJs were always like, "Where do you work? What can you give me a job there?" Okay, so Carnival. Another reason why I say bottom of the barrel experience because I was working 12 to 16 hours a day. So
Right, of course.
if I'm making $150 a day and I'm working 5 hours. And I get to go to the beach, and I get free food, and I get free business. Cool. But if I'm working 12 hours a day, wait, hold up. That's not
Yep.
really, even if I do get to go on that, it doesn't add up. So you have to make that. Sometimes that's why you don't see a lot of Americans working on a cruise ship because the salary that you make on the cruise ship, you could probably make in a couple days or a day or something on land. Most
Sure.
people, if you're from like the Philippines or, you know, another country, Indonesia, another country where the value of the dollar is a lot more, you know, that $1,000 paycheck you wouldn't even make that in a whole year or your lifetime. Some people, I'm just using those countries as an example. So
And it's
I
true, though.
don't know their circumstances. I'm just using it as an example.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of like US people I noticed that work as entertainers, they're doing it for a specific reason, just like you. They're looking for a vehicle because they're in a place in their lives where they can do this. They're not tied down on land where they can go out and you're getting paid to travel basically and to do what you love and DJ and things. So that's where I see a lot of the US people telling those stories.
Yeah. And like, so if I wanted to, I just launched Sun Princess. I was in Italy. I lived in Italy for 2.5 months. I was in Italy, Spain, Greece, Turkey, and France. Now, if you think about flights, travel, I would have probably spent $100,000-$200,000, but I got paid to do all that stuff.
Wow.
Now granted, I worked until 2 a.m. and then, I was like sleeping until noon because I couldn't get rest, you know what I mean? And then I ran off the ship for 3 hours and took some cool pictures and did what I had to do and ran back on by 5. But everybody thinks I was on vacation for 3.5 months,
Which it's a perception, but you know what? You do get to see places that you would never get to see on, let me take that back. You would, some people would get to see it, but it's all like relative whether you can afford it because it's expensive to travel. Yeah. And, we talked to a couple that plays in one of the bands together, and they do it because they get to do that. They get to see different parts of the world, plus they're making money and they're performing, and they would not get to do it. They were both doing New York Broadway shows, believe it or not, and they're doing this now in a bar band on one of the ships. But they get to travel together, they get the port time, and everything is paid for. So it's a different lifestyle, which you wouldn't be able to afford normally, on land. And so so being a cruiser and not a worker on this ship, did you see people that you work with and they were like, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah, definitely. Like, what are you doing here? Sometimes you get to look up, you know what I mean? But I was just like, but also it was like kind of like, oh shit, I need somebody to do this trivia. I'm like, I got you, girl. Like all the photo people, I will pose for a photo for any photo person ever because they have a quota of photos that they have to take. So
I did not know that.
It's hot as hell in the Caribbean with that freaking life preserver trying to get you to take a picture. Take the freaking picture. You don't have to buy it, but it helps them with their quota. So I'm there like, hey, you need a picture? You need a picture? You know what I mean?
I didn't know that.
I did not know that because when we're having dinner, they almost like accost us. And I'm like,
I know.
And to me, it's like, why are you still doing this photo thing? Like, everyone has a cell phone now. I'm like, why is this? I did not know they need a quota. Job. I'm going to ambush every single one of them now and be like,
could you imagine being the asshole that has to interrupt somebody's dinner and be like, hey, can you just get up, move your tag over a little bit, stand up like, bitch, I'm eating dinner. I do not want to take this picture. But it's their job, so it's even more awkward for them. So I always take a photo.
Good to know.
That's good to know. Yeah.
Yes.
We just learned something.
And I'm always extra nice to the staff, and whatever rules there are, I try to follow them. I try to, if it says, that the club, if the club is closing if the club is starting to dwindle down, I'm not going to be the last person sitting in there because I know the DJ is waiting for these people to leave so they can get out. You know what I mean? Or the dinner. Yeah. Like, if I see things are closing up, I'm going to wrap my stuff up and go. Even they're like, no, ma'am, stay all night. I know that you're trying to get to the crew bar before you can get some rest. So, you know what I'm saying?
And you've been working 10 hours, probably.
Exactly. Like, I'm not trying to give nobody a hard time. I'm not trying to break any rules. I'm not trying to make anybody write any reports. I'm trying to volunteer for everything that they need somebody to volunteer for. That trivia that nobody goes to. The Jenga. Like, we're doing it all, okay?
That's amazing.
Those empty rooms where you, peek in and, for bingo or whatever, and it's, 3 people, and you're like, yeah, bye-bye. You kind of
as a cruiser,
playing their heart out for that one person that keeps requesting stupid songs that they don't want to play. They just they're trying to record this to make a promo video, and that's another thing I do is I get video of people on cruise ships. It's really hard for you to get a genuine interaction because if I'm DJing and everybody starts singing the song and jumping up loud, if I jump and get my phone, I'm just recording the crowd. But if you see that interaction and you record me and the crowd and you send that to me, clutch, bro. That's amazing.
Oh, that's awesome. It's great promo right there. Did you ever have, like, you were, when you did yourself, cruising on the ship yourself, did you ever have your plate of food taken away? Like, give me that. They thought you were a worker.
No, I've not had that, but I did get turned down, like, getting coffee, and they're like, oh, DJ, something about we're not serving stuff right now. I was like, I'm a guest this time. They're like, oh, or just in general. If you're a guest entertainer, you have different privileges than other people. So
Sure.
I'll come and I'll be like, can I have a coffee? And they're like, no. Or like, we can't serve you here, or it's such and such
Wow.
money. And then I have to be like, well, I'm a guest entertainer. And then they're like, oh, and then they give it to you. But I don't feel like, I hate doing that.
Yeah,
like,
because it makes it.
I hate
Right.
doing that. But for some people you have to, because they don't know, or they love to tell people no, just because it's a privilege. They can tell them no, that they don't get, that they can tell other people no, which is crazy.
Of course. Yeah. It's more of a power trip kind of thing. But yeah, no, I get it. That's crazy. And how about, like, we talked about being able to see so many places when you're on, these different cruises. Do you have any favorite ports? Being on
Yes.
so many cruises already. What are some of your favorite ports?
I'm completely obsessed with Mexico. Like, I want to get a house there. I love Mexico.
No
like, I'm
kidding.
Mexican at heart. That's one of my favorite places I've ever been in my whole life.
What makes it so special?
I love the people, the culture, the beaches, the prices, the food, and it's just, I feel like I'm at home there,
Wow.
And everything is so chill and laid back. And, like, when you go to the beach on a Sunday, everybody's there with their families, and you're a family too. Come sit there.
Right.
You want a tamale? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's for the most part, like, so amazing. And like, the beaches are some of the most beautiful beaches I've been to in my life. And it's so chill. If I want to bring a 6-pack, I can bring a 6-pack. If I want to smoke a joint, I can smoke a joint. If I want to,
Yeah.
find some shells, if I want to get a cab, like, if I want to, whatever you want to do, the possibilities are endless. And as long as you don't trip, they usually don't trip, like,
That
That's
is
why I love
amazing.
it.
And like,
Oh,
yeah,
that's so cool.
And is there any other spots? Like,
yeah,
any other
Italy has
favorites?
like the most amazing food I've ever tasted in my life. Even like, I can't wait to go back to Italy just to get a Big Mac. Like, the McDonald's is even good. Yes.
I mean, we just came from Italy ourselves, and I've never been, and I was just like, oh my God, this is amazing. And me
So
with
good.
coffee, I was just like at every coffee place. In fact, I was funny. I'll tell you a quick story. So we went to get coffee, and everything there is more a little bit laid back. They want you to relax and enjoy. So I walk in, the Total Philadelphia guy, and I go, yeah, I'll have a large cappuccino to go. And they were like, what?
Because everything is petite,
What?
because it's so flavorful. It's so amazing. This is good enough.
So they were like, you'll have a small, you'll like it, you'll sit here and enjoy it. I was like,
Exactly.
yes, that's
Like,
what I'll
no,
do.
it's kind of like an insult. Like, this is where you sit and you enjoy your time. And like, did you find that getting the check was just like here, they're like, before you even say, can I get the check, they're dropping it and trying to get you out. There, you have to like beg for the check.
Yes.
Correct.
In Spain, in Mexico, it's another thing. So if you're trying to dine and dash really quick, you're going to have an issue with that, because you might as well
Absolutely.
go to like Burger King or McDonald's or one of the American things, because they cherish spending that time and eating or having a cup of coffee. Like, that's a cherished time. It's not like in and out type of thing.
And I love
exactly.
that.
And,
I think
and
the
with
culture,
family and it's an experience.
Like Spain, like all the siestas, like, oh my gosh, you're closed for like 4 hours during the day. You couldn't do that in America. They'd never come back to work.
Right.
And Spain, the architecture, even just walking down the street, like the walking streets,
It's amazing.
the pedestrian streets are beautiful, beautiful marble. The banks are amazing. I'm telling myself, oh my God, it's a beautiful building. Take a picture. Like, oh, that's just the bank. Oh, that's just the the immigration building. Like,
Right. It's just like crazy stuff. We even saw, how they have the water fountains just flowing out on the streets. And I was saying to Rachel, you can just drink out of that. She's like, yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
And I was just like,
you'll see so many parks. Everything is designed for people to spend time together and relax. Not the go, 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 make money, make money, make money, show off, show off, show off. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. I loved Mykonos, is one of my favorite places. Forget Santorini. I mean, if it's on your bucket list, go. But Mykonos is like this tunnel of wonder, like it's a maze of wonder. It's so fabulous. And Scotland and Ireland, if anybody were to offer me a job in Scotland or Ireland, I'd have no problem moving there. I
Wow.
love both of those places.
So Mexico, Scotland, Ireland.
Mexico, because
Mexico.
I'm a beach babe. Yeah. Yep.
Makes
And
sense.
surprisingly, Norway. Norway is one of the cleanest, functional, amazing places you'll ever be in your life. If I could bottle the air and put it in tanks, I would just breathe Norwegian air. The air out there is just like stepping off the ship and just a deep breath is like, I don't even know, like putting ice water and like inhaling the vapors of the ice water. It's all fresh and cool. That's the weirdest thing ever. I know, I'm a weirdo.
No, it's awesome. It's true.
like
I can
the
actually,
best thing.
I think I just smelled it all the way
Yeah, right?
as you were
Like, it's
describing it,
perfect.
you know?
Yeah, I would just, oh my gosh. And the architecture is a lot different in the different countries and different, I was looking at the continents. I've been in 4 of the 7 continents. So I got a lot of work to do, even though I've done a lot of work.
Yeah. Go
But
out there
yeah.
and see the world. There's nothing like seeing the world, and we're hoping to see more of it. It just takes time, and it's not, if you're not working, it's expensive to travel. But
Yes.
and that's the one thing, speaking to so many different entertainers and staff on cruise ships, that's the one thing they love, is that you are able to see the world as part of your job, which you can here, and that's a big thing. I'm curious as to, like, the difference that you're finding DJing on a cruise ship versus on land. Positive, negative.
I like DJing on a cruise ship because I have no parameters really, on land you're usually hired for a specific, I'm having a birthday party, I'm turning 50, I want this amount of this music. If I'm DJing in a club in Jersey Shore, they want, this kind of music. If I'm DJing in a hip hop place, they want this kind. On the cruise ship, I got to play all of that. I love playing Caribbean music. I love playing Latin music. I love playing indie music. It's normal on a cruise ship for me to throw in a Latin set. You know what I
Sure.
mean? Here it might be like, why are you playing that? They're not even speaking English, and it's just like whatever.
They don't
You know
get
what I
it.
mean? Or a Bollywood song. Well, you know what I mean? It's more universal on a cruise ship, so I'm not locked into a certain genre to play or anything. I'm playing. Matter of fact, it's the opposite. I'm playing every genre. I'm playing 60s,
Right.
70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2020s. Then I'm playing Latin. I'm playing Indian. I'm playing Asian. I'm playing Caribbean. So that all makes me well-rounded, and it makes me not lose the luster for the job because I'm finding out something new every day. You know what I mean? And I'm playing new stuff every day. Now, some people hate that that people like Sweet Caroline or YMCA. I don't give a
Right.
shit. You want to do YMCA? Let's do it. Whatever.
Exactly.
Cool. But just
I mean-
know right after that, I'm probably going to give you a tidbit, and I don't want to hear shit about it. Just like I played YMCA for you, when I play this new song that you don't know, I'm going to need you to keep on dancing and not run up to me with your Spotify playlist as if I don't know what to play. Oh my God, I don't know this song. Why are you playing it? Do you need my Spotify playlist? No, it's just education.
Yeah.
Most people all around the world know this song, but you don't. So because you're only listening to Megan Thee Stallion, so just want to teach you.
And that's the thing for me. I just think it strengthens your worldly musical knowledge, which enables you now to go on land. And instead of staying in Philly, you go to Miami and you can play a whole Latin party and get that call. And now you're getting a name for yourself as, a traveling DJ entertainer that has the knowledge base to perform. It's no bullshit. You can really do it. A lot of people say they can do it. I have this big knowledge base of music, but they don't.
Can't do it for a couple hours. Like say
No.
now I have a bride and groom. One is Latina and one is, Persian, or one is, Indian and one is Jamaican. Can you play a little something for both sides? Cool, no problem. I got you. And I started saying the song titles. They're like hired because who else is gonna know? They're gonna no, it's not from Spotify. But that
Right.
brings a good point to another reason why I like to work on a cruise ship. Yes, I love being American. Yes, I love Americans, but I am one of the few Americans when I work on a cruise ship. So I'm immersed in a different culture. My American ways don't fly as much as when I'm on land. So I don't have that entitled American kind of, I can do what I want, you can do what I want, everything's on my cell phone kind of attitude. And neither
Right.
do they. So when I come back to America, I'm kind of like, oh shit, we really act like this? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
It's the truth. I mean,
it's a culture shock. So I prefer being around, the foreigners, because I'm just me and my friend from Serbia are going out for a beer. I've learned the whole history of, Europe that I didn't even know from school, and we're just having a beer and we're just talking about where he's from and how he got there, or most people, like, this is a funny thing. I get stared at a lot. I'm a black woman with an afro, and I don't wear a lot of makeup. So I either get the, wow, I've never seen anyone so beautiful like that in my life, or, wow, you look different, or, like, something has to be wrong with me because I don't have nails and a weave and talk like this and drink Hennessy.
Right.
Like, some people only know that perception, like basketball wives, like Love and Hip Hop.
Of course.
These long weaves and all this stuff. So when they see me, they're like, I never even knew that's what black girls could be like. Are you from Africa? Are you from here? Like, are you Dominican? I'm like, no, I'm from America. And it's like, well, why do you talk like that? Talk like what? Oh, I'm educated. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I know, it's so
like,
funny.
How can you wear your hair like that? Can I touch your hair is a big thing.
Wow.
I don't get offended. It's just they're used to seeing women with wigs and weaves, not with their natural hair.
It's what they see on TV
and makeup. So they're not used to seeing people that look like me, a black woman from America that look like me.
No,
Right.
they're just seeing what they see on TV,
Exactly.
and that's that stereotype, and they think everybody is like that, and it's like, not at all.
Or the guest from Alabama that's never really interacted with a black person before, and now they see me rocking out to, like, Jack Johnson. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Or whatever. Like, you know what I mean?
Whoever.
Like, how did you know who Jimmy Buffett is? How did you know who Jimmy Buffett is? Like,
No, it's so important to travel, and you learn things that you didn't even know were there to learn in the first place. So it's great. And just like we have preconceived notions of what Italians are like, or what
Indians
French
are like.
people like we have these because we only see what we see on TV. And so it's so important to go talk to some Italians, actually interact with some French people, or, in Mexico and all that.
Yep. And like certain things, like, you want to know about different cultures on a cruise ship, it's okay to ask. In normal life, it's not okay for me to ask my Indian friend, hey, so what's the deal? Do you wear deodorant or don't you? Is it against the law or no? On a cruise ship, it's laughing, like, okay, cool. Certain country, like, they understand you're not trying to make fun of them. You really want to know because you don't know. So they'll tell you certain cultures, certain this, da-da. Or in Italian, like, like in Italy, like, like, are like, what do you really eat? Do you really eat pasta? Like, or I don't know, like, just different stupid things that you want to know about people. Just learning hello in different, and hello, thank you, goodbye, where's the bathroom in different languages. When I come home, I sit here and it's like a filter, like, if I can hear, like, oh my God, they're from Lebanon. And you're like, how the hell did you know that? Like, oh my God. Or I see this Serbian person, they have their Serbian shop in America. I walk in, Zdravo, kako si? And they're like, what the? Holy shit. And it makes them so happy, Or this black girl walks into this shop in Spain and they're like, oh, no, mami, like, bonita flores, something like that. And they're just like, thank you so much. Like, I can show people that, African American people can be well cultured and educated too. Everything it isn't about the stereotypes. Or women, can handle being in tough situations. Or just because I'm 43 doesn't mean that I'm out of touch with somebody that's 23.
Of course.
Or just because I look 23 doesn't mean that I'm out of touch with somebody that's 53. So I kind of break down all these barriers. You know what I mean? Like,
I get it. We try to be the same way, just from the standpoint of, like, even musical knowledge. And because we're musicians and because I lived, and still live in that world of knowing every single top 40 song, they're like, how do you even know what's on the new Taylor Swift record? Like, they're like blown away. They're like, you should be listening to Zeppelin or something like that. I'm like, no, believe me, I lived all that every day for many, many, many years.
Yeah. And something. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, and I was just, no. I was just going to say, even the cultures, like, because Rachel being, like, from Brazil, or families from Brazil, when we travel.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So basically, she can speak Portuguese, Spanish, and some French. And so this last trip, she's understanding everything, and people don't even know she's understanding it, and they might be talking about us, and look at these Americans.
Yep.
And she's like, they're talking about us. I'm like, what did they say? And then if she answers back, they're like, oh shit,
Hey,
I
don't
didn't,
you love that?
Oh, the best. I wish
Yeah.
I knew that, but that's why I have her. But in any case, it's awesome. How about like some of the I'm going to switch gears for a second, because I'm always curious about this, especially being an entertainer. What is some of the craziest shit that you've seen on the ships? Have you seen, and you don't have to name ships or throw people under the bus, but there's got to be some stories that you have that you see, because it's just craziness.
Yeah. So on a sad note, you do see a lot of people dealing with mental health. Like on a cruise ship, it could be really difficult. You're away from your family, you don't know anybody, you're working hard, so it can attack your mental health. So seeing your friend one day and seeing that they committed suicide another day is really sad, especially because you didn't even know that they were going through it like that, because they didn't even have time to talk to you.
Right.
So something like that. Breakups are super tough, you know what I mean? I've been through some. I was the spectacle of some stories myself. But I've seen a modern soccer mom giving head to a thugged out dude in the club. Like,
yeah,
I've seen fights. I've seen we had to airlift people off of the ship, you know what I mean, because they got hurt. Stuff like that.
All crazy stuff. And the mental health thing is something that another person that we interviewed spoke about. And he said a lot of people don't realize that working on a ship, especially if you're working by yourself, it can really affect your mental health, which is, and he talked about like how for his own self, how he gets by on dealing with that, which is really, it's a unique thing. And, cruisers would never even think about it because you're there to entertain them. They don't know your personal life.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah,
also, the different cultures being meshed together can create issues. So, like, I'm a guest entertainer DJ, so I'm one. So I get in where I fit in. I'm not clustered with people. The cruise staff, they're clustered together. So one could be Canadian, one could be Brazilian, one could be Mexican, one could be Turkish, one could be, and you don't know. But another thing is there's Russians and Ukrainians. So your boss is Russian and you're Ukrainian. Your boss could be doing stuff to you intentionally because of the war. You know what I mean? Or you're Ukrainian, and your house just got blown up, but you have to serve, and they you don't have time to think about that or care about that because you need to serve this family who's treating you like shit. You know what I mean? Because so there's just different things that people have to deal with. Within the different cultures don't get along with each other or have things that they have, and your boss may be somebody and you don't have a problem with them, but just because they're cultures. So I deal with some racism, sometimes because, of different classes and the color brown I am. Somebody from, let's say, I don't want to make anything specific, but yeah, this culture, us person with my dark skin could be below. So they treat me like that, but it's a cruise ship, so it's different. You know what I mean? And sometimes you get hated on for being American because you have that passport, you go everywhere and whatever. So it's like people already hate you because of the privilege you have as being American. So it's just different things, with meshing the cultures together that could definitely, have a big play on mental health, sometimes I may think somebody's being rude to me, but just in their culture, they don't say please and thank you, or,
no, it's tough to read.
Things. I always thought my Serbian friends were fighting because when they start, or Ukrainian or Russian friends, when they talk aggressively, even if they're just talking and making a joke. So I'm sitting there oh my God, guys, don't fight. It's okay. We can just talk about it. You guys are friends. And they're we're talking a joke about this movie, da-da-da. And that's just how we talk. And I'm oh, okay, thank you. And they're laughing at me.
Right. It's definitely, I think it's, first of all, super educational being around all the cultures. And I just think that it's definitely a great learning experience just for life, being around different people. When you get off of the cruise ship and your contract is done, and something we talked about, through a text, it's like you go shopping and you get lost just in the shopping store.
Yeah. So
how is that? So once you land, you're like, okay, I am back on land. What do you find that you like to do?
It's a trippy experience because you're immersed in that ship world for so long and you're with these people. It's like a mini city and you're with these people. So it's almost devastating. You're happy because you get to go home, but you're devastated when you leave because I never know if I'm going to see that person again in my life.
Sure, right.
Or I never know if it's going to be 5 years, 2 years, or what. I'm not going to see their kids. I'm not going to go to their wedding. I'm not going to, I may never see them again, and we were best friends. So that's like, you end up crying a lot of times on your when you're getting to the airport and stuff like that. And then you're like, it's that same whirlwind of tornado you were wrapped up in to go on the ship and dropped on the ship. You're like wrapped up in that whirlwind, and just like, it's like you're forgotten about, like you were never even there. And the people on land, like, even though they physically see you, they still act like you're on the cruise ship. So it's a weird adjustment just getting back from like coming on, like driving, somebody picking you up in the car, like everybody speaking American, dealing with Americans' attitudes, like
right.
Like it's a culture shock, and it's just like crazy just even getting from the ship home. Then once you get home, it's an adjustment being back to your house because you're not in that tiny room that you kept organized for that long. I have 4 pit bulls, you know what I mean? Then like nobody's cooking for me, nobody's cleaning for me. I don't have that schedule. I have to then go back on the grind with my promo, like doing all my, all the pictures and videos that I've taken for the last 3 months. Now I have to compile them to let people know this is what I was doing. I'm an international DJ, but I'm also on land now for these months. So I need you guys to book me here so that I got this money. So people are so confused. And I'm working 10 times harder to make that money because now I'm booking myself. I'm doing all the marketing for myself. I have to then make sure my equipment's all good. I have to actually do the gig. You know what I mean? I have to hire my own staff. Like, so it's a lot going into that. So once you get that settled, then you're like, oh shit, I got to eat. So I go to the grocery store every single day for like a week. When I'm home, I go every day for a week just because it's something fun to do. And I buy all this food, and I cook a lot because like something like a grilled cheese sandwich is like something you miss so much.
We love grilled cheese,
right? Just bread, cheese, and butter. Like, come on,
Ain't that the best?
Right?
Seriously,
best.
whoever invented that. Yeah, like, minimalism.
Yes,
like minimalist.
On the ship, we'll run out on turnaround day. If there is like, we have refrigerators in our room, depending on the rank, and I will go right to Publix. I get turkey, cheese, bread, like condiments, so I put some stuff in my room so I can have stuff. We have like a little kettle where for hot water, make noodles and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
Or your clothing steamer. So when you go home, you're like cooking everything. I lost like 25 pounds. I think I gained like 40. So, and I go to the grocery store every single week. It is like a thing. Grocery store, Walmart. I don't want to be around a bunch of people.
Yeah, put your head in a different space, I think, too, because, it's what a different world. You go from what you said, a giant ship in a small quarters, to the luxury of, I have this big room, but I got to stay kind of busy and active and keep your brain going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's exhausting.
People
keeping up with everything.
Do you crave that next contract when you're on land?
When you leave, most of the time, you're like for instance, like I just got off a contract. It was the craziest thing I've ever done my whole entire life. And I'm like, I'm never going back. I don't want to go back. And now I'm almost about to go back. And I'm like, I can't wait to go back. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I miss my friends. I miss the lifestyle of it. So it's like everybody's like that on the cruise ship. Once you get done, you're like, never again. And then you're like, when's my next one? All right. Because you see all your friends posting all where they've been. And, like you miss them people. You miss the lifestyle. I miss like meeting all the different people and DJing. Like after a while, like the mitzvahs, the weddings never really get old, but the mitzvahs and, the club gigs, the drunk people, it kind of gets old. Driving an hour to a gig, 2 hours here, then having to unload, then all this stuff. I'm 43 years old. My shoulder's sore. Like I work a good weekend, and I didn't even make as much as I would make, in that 2 weeks, for a cruise ship. My shoulder sore, my back sore.
I get it.
My
Listen,
ear aches, so
you're preaching to the choir. I remember just that, probably that last time I carried my drum kit and sitting on the loading dock of a Four Seasons going, yeah, I'm not doing this, anymore. It was, and I love drumming, but it was like 3 a.m. by the time I loaded out my drum kit, and I was just like, ooh, that's rough, So those days I appreciate not doing anymore. But I get the fact of, the experience, the actual performance and stuff like that. One thing I don't want to forget before we close out this interview, Rachel, is let's get all of, I'd like to promote all your stuff. So anything you want to promote.
For people that want to get into the cruise industry, the best thing you can do for yourself is make sure that you're a well-rounded individual, because you're going to have to deal with people from all walks of life and all different, world. So you'll need to have your press kit, electronic press kit, which just has your professional picture, your bio, just a little bit of something about who you are, where you came from, and where you want to go. And then it'll have your social media information so they can check up on you and, make sure that you're not posting Nazi terrorist stuff, or, you know what I mean? Just
right. No, it's true.
Just because somebody's a good musician doesn't mean they're a good person, as you can see with all the different, things going on.
Because I think a lot of entertainers don't realize that clients or a lot of the guests on the ship, they can Google you. Especially if they're really liking you, they can look you up. And so it's almost like you want to be able to say what you want to say. It's your social media profile, darn it. You should say what you want to. But in today's world, that's kind of like your professional facade. And it's almost like you need that. And then if you want to say stuff, make another profile.
Yeah.
But people look that stuff up, and it just shocks me how many entertainers are like, I can't believe they looked at my stuff, and I want to be able to say what I'm going to say. But you need to almost treat it like a LinkedIn profile.
Yeah.
If you're not going to post it on LinkedIn, don't be posting it on social. It's okay to have your opinion and feel strong about stuff, but always remember that professionally, it's going to be looked at.
Or how many people do you get, you definitely can relate to this, that send you that one video and they're awesome. You've seen them that one time, they're awesome. But then you go dig deeper and you're like, oh crap, they have shitty equipment. Every time they go to this gig, they're never dressed appropriately. When you start scrolling, even if you don't even look at anything that they say, you just start looking at the patterns in their performances. And that's another reason why people look at that stuff, because I can sit in my room right now and make a wild video, or I can stage something. But on a cruise ship, you need stamina. You're working for the same people. When you go do a wedding, you're not going to see those people ever again. Maybe at a bar occasionally, a mitzvah,
Right.
a birthday party, any gig here, even if it's a nightclub, you're not going to see those people every single day for a week. On a cruise ship, you have those same people every single day for a week. And then you have some people that are cruising for, a month, some people that are cruising. So you need to have stamina. You need to know, you can't just play the same sets. You know what I mean? And you can't just play the same, stuff that, you think would fly in your hood. You know what I mean? You need to know, because there's so many DJs that think they can do this, but they don't realize how much stamina it takes and how much knowledge it takes and how much skill it really does take to be successful. So
absolutely.
I will
It's sort of
tell you
like,
that.
it's like the restaurants, even on cruise ships, the restaurants, they, as of late, and I know this is a new trend, or, as of the last few years, but they've learned that they even need to change their menu. The same menu every week for the cruisers gets boring,
Yeah.
and they'll get a bad reputation. So even something, you're looking at just even the food aspect, they have to change it up just to switch it up. So you're absolutely right. And when you see a performer that you start to pull back the layers and you're like, wait a second, they don't have the depth of what they need to get by, then, you're absolutely correct.
Yeah, you
about it.
can't be a one-trick pony.
No, one things I hate, once I get on a cruise ship, as soon as I post my first picture, everybody's in my inbox. People I never even spoke, never liked a picture, never liked to post. Yo, can you give me a job? Yo, can you give me a job? And then I go and first thing I do, look on their social media. Hell no, you don't even know what to play. You don't even
Right,
know how
right.
to act. Or like I just know their personality and I'm like, you wouldn't even make it through the first day, right, Rachel? Because it's not even about playing music. Living on a
Yep.
cruise ship a lot of times isn't about what talent or the position that you're in. It's can you function as a human in this environment and thrive? Not a lot of people can do that. And once you are able to do that, it's like you're in a secret society. Like I feel like I'm a different type of person in life. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
And for the better?
For the better. Yeah.
Right?
Even
That's-
just
yeah.
now. I took my mom I DJ'd a festival in Tennessee. That's another, I'll go anywhere and I can go anywhere and I can navigate. Cause like
Right.
even when you get on the cruise ship, when you get off in port, you don't know where you're going. You just wander around. So
Oh, yeah.
I just wander around now. Anywhere you send me, anywhere they don't even speak the language, like I can figure it out. Or in a situation where a festival, I told my mom, I said, come here, mom, we need to have a safety plan. And she's like, what? And I said, well, nowadays you can't just go to a festival and have fun. You need to have a disaster plan. If they start shooting, if somebody starts fighting, if anything happens, I don't want you to panic because you know what to do. So this
Right.
is our plan. We're going to meet at this exit place. We know this is where the car is. So, and like, it was a strange thing to them, but it was a normal thing to me.
Of course.
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. No, we do that all the time, and we're the same way. We get off the cruise ship, we're figuring out where we're at, looking at everything, knowing the time we need to get back. You know, we definitely don't want to be those cruise runners or whatever they call them, where they're
Yeah,
chasing
yeah,
it.
running
Pier
down the-
runners. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. You know,
But
and
those-
so you have
yeah,
to.
the-
It's part.
The skills you learn from there, like, you know, when you're so tired and it's beat into you because you're exhausted. But every time you got to wake up, you got to do those drills and all that stuff helps you in life. So that when now I'm there, I came up with this plan. When there's an emergency, you're taught to act. So I don't even think about it. Last year, I was coming home from work and somebody had hit a kid and in a car, like coming home from the shore,
Oh, wow.
they hit him and they kept going. And I was driving and I'm like, I swear those are legs. And I'm like, we gotta stop. So I
No.
stop on like the Garden State Turnpike. It's a Garden State Parkway on the bridge going to Ocean City. And, you know, I just jumped out the car, ran up the street, started giving CPR, you know what I mean? Called 911, did all this stuff. And my boyfriend at the time is just sitting there looking like, don't do that. You're going to be scarred for like, da-da. I didn't even think about what it would do to me mentally in the long run. It's an emergency. I need to act. And that's what I did. And that's kind of the
Wow.
person I am now. And you know what I mean? Stay calm. And this is what we need to like, I can take charge of the situation because I've been taught these skills. So
And that will elevate you in life, no matter what you do. You know, it makes you a
Yeah.
rounded person, a good person. But I'm telling you, that's a life skill right there.
yeah. So do your research. If you want to work on a cruise ship, do your research. It's not all lovely pictures on the beach. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of different personalities you have to deal with. And it's a learning curve. Things are not the same on land as they are on a cruise ship. Yes, it's fun. Yes, it's an awesome experience, but it's a change in a lifestyle. Like you can't live a normal life on land, you know what I mean, and work a cruise ship job. It just doesn't work like that because like I said, January and February, it's slow on land. So I'm on a cruise ship. By the time I get back in March, April, May, like, hey, I'm here. Can you book me? Can you book me? People are just like, oh, you're gone. You're back from the cruise ship. But now I'm about to leave again. So it works out when you book weddings and things like that a year in advance so that you can build your cruise ship, you know, contract on top of it. It's a whole lifestyle. You have to change your whole life to work around it. It's not, and it's not easy at all. It's not easy to have a relationship, you know, because you're gone. You know, I'm the type of person, my partner can come with me, but the time that I'm gone, you know, is too devastating for them to handle. Then I'm a
Right.
dog mom, so I got to pay $2,000 a month in just dog sitting. And then, you know, how would you feel leaving your child, you know what I mean, with somebody and you're in another country for all these months? Like I got the Ring doorbell. I'm watching that. I'm like, I'm at my DJ performance with my phone up like this with the Ring doorbell. People
Right,
are walking
right.
by like, is that your dogs? And I'm like, yes, it is. Sorry. You know, but my
That's-
bosses are, you know, cool. They know. So just, it's a lifestyle. Get your press kit. That'll help you with any job that you want to get that is in a higher level. And have couple open format mixes, not 10 minutes, not 15 minutes. We want to know that you can go an hour strong playing all these different genres for all these different people, because that's what you're going to have to do on the ship. Then I also, you have to show yourself on the mic interacting. You can't just be in there in your head like this. These people are watching you. It's a performance when you're DJing, and they don't want to see you scratching and juggling and beat juggling. They want to see you as a performer, as an entertainer. So you're kind of like the cruise director, how they have to have their, personality and their, image. You're the same as a DJ because there's only one of you. Same as like the party band. There's only one of you. And have a resume just like you do for your regular job. I worked at this place and I did this and I played this, and then have the videos to back that up. So you have the press kit, number 1. You have your open format mixes, number 2. You have your promo videos showing that you can play open format stuff, you can interact with the crowd, and that you're a professional on the mic, because some people can't speak professionally on a microphone, So all that stuff, once you get that all together, then comes the uphill battle of finding the right contacts to get you into the industry. Luckily, I have some.
So that's what I was going to ask you. Like, do you apply directly to the cruise ship, or do you apply to because I know there's agencies that will book entertainers or get you the interview. Either way.
If you can get in with the actual company, that's the best way, because when the agent doesn't want to deal with that company anymore, or the agent isn't an agent anymore, or whatever, if there's a fallout between the agent and the company, you still have your personal relationship, and it's not any kind of conflict of interest because they hired you through an agency before, and now you're coming to ask for that job solo, not working for the agency before. Sometimes if you're working for an agency, you have a non-compete contract. If it doesn't work out with that agency, then you can't go and apply for a year or something because it's a compete. So it's best to also, agencies take a percentage. It could be 5%, 10%, or 20%, and that's out of your paycheck.
Wow.
When you first get the gig, it's awesome because you're happy. But 3 years down the road, you got to pay somebody $500 out of your paycheck. You're like, come on, man,
Yeah. So better to apply with the cruise ship if you can get in that way.
Yep.
That's amazing.
When you're from other countries, or certain cruise lines only go through agencies. So it just depends on the cruise line, depends on their where their flag is held, which means so every cruise ship is registered. None of them are registered to USA. They're registered to the Bahamas, Panama, England, Scotland, so you got to follow those kind of rules there. So
gotcha. That's awesome. That's great knowledge for people applying. What about give us some of your promo stuff, your socials. Where can people find you?
You can find me at www.msvdjbrickhouse.com. That's Ms. V DJ Brickhouse, because everybody thinks that DJ Brickhouse is this big, huge dude with bald head, that big
For
dude
real?
that they call Tiny. That's who they think DJ Brickhouse is. No one expects it to be this little lady with an afro. So I added the Ms. V so that I'm a girl, and you know what I mean? It's kind of Ms. V DJ Brickhouse. And then so that's where you can find me, my website, msvdjbrickhouse.com, my Mixcloud, and also my YouTube as well. The kiddies call me DJ Girl or Ms. V, so you can find me on Instagram at DJ Girl Ms. V and SoundCloud DJ Girl Ms. V.
And what do you like to be called?
Everybody calls me Brickhouse or Brick or DJ. I'm cool with that. If you call me Victoria, it's weird.
I might have called you Victoria a second ago.
Yeah, it's all good. I've known you for forever.
Yeah.
I always called you and Steve Papa Bear. So, I always thought you guys were young and hip. I'm like, these guys are older than me, but they're all young and hip. They're so cool.
Excuse me?
So I still feel that way.
What? I still act like 21. Like when we go out, Rachel's like, "Excuse my child here. He's misbehaving."
Yeah, no, misbehave. Have fun. As an adult, it's important to have fun. Another big, huge thing is obviously during the pandemic in 2020, I was rushed off of a cruise ship. So I work for Princess Cruises. which was kind of at the forefront of the pandemic.
Sure.
So I was on one of the ships when this all went down, and obviously we were looking at TV like, this is not what it's like on our ship. This is not what's going on. So we can't believe that the TV is portraying this. So that was one thing. But I was actually raced off of the ship. One day I was working in a nightclub and my boss is like, hey, you got to pack your bags. You got a flight tomorrow. We got to get you off the ship. And I'm like, my friends, and I haven't packed and I'm still working. Like, give me a couple days.
Right.
And he's like, no, it's if I don't get you off now, I may not be able to get you off. And I'm like, oh shit.
Oh
okay.
my God.
Packed my bags. And the next day, the whole world shut down. I left the ship, got home. The next day, the whole world shut down.
Where were you at?
2020. I was in the Bahamas on our way to, we were on our way to Fort Lauderdale. And all the the guest entertainers, that's another privilege of being guest entertainer. You know, for one, we get higher salaries. So if you're not going to work, they want to get you off the ship as soon as possible.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they don't want to feed you.
Where there's something like this, you're treated with the utmost respect and care, that they don't want you as as your status, they don't want you stuck in that situation. So they got me, I'm so thankful for my bosses, got me off the ship, everything closed down. I had a whole roster of gigs and I was getting ready to buy a house, like all this stuff, everything kind of just went to shit.
I get it.
So I had to rebuild everything. I had to build my whole business, get gigs, and I started I thought about it. I still wanted to be a DJ, but I didn't know how I could be a DJ in that state of, of the world.
Yeah.
So I knew I wanted to do something positive. I don't have any children, but I wanted to give a positive gift to children. So I started creating positive rap music for children, because if you ever go to a birthday party for like a 1-year-old, a 2-year-old, a 4-year-old, it's not really a kids party. It's a bunch of parents around drinking, listening to their music, yelling at the kids. You know what I mean? With maybe a piñata and some balloons and a cake. You know what I mean? But there's not many companies that are coming in and saying, you go and have your cocktails, give the kids to me, I'll play the appropriate music, I'll play games, we'll keep them, and I'll give them educational tips. So I created a company called DJ Girls Dance Jams Events.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I created
that.
Dance Jams Volume 1 has the hand wash song, hashtag health goals, and it's a song about washing your hands and eating healthy. I really thought in the pandemic it would take off and I would go viral, and I didn't. I still only have like 7 YouTube followers. So follow me, DJ Girls Dance Jams Events.
Let's make it blow
hand wash
up.
Song. I also have the Dance Jam Slide, which is like kind of like a dance that goes with it, but I just really like to be a positive influence on children, and let parents know that these kids, you're forcing them to listen to Cardi B, you're forcing them to listen to this, but when I DJ, I can put on the Beatles, I can put on anything, and they'll still dance to it. So I'm introducing them, and we have like a no bullying policy, no kid left behind. So if we're at a dance and there's like 2 kids on the bleachers, we go over and bring the party to them and get them back on so that they feel included, and just, make sure that you get good grades and stay in school and respect your teachers. And
what a great program.
Like just all those. And I'm instilling these things at a 2-hour dance party when the kids are going raging crazy. You know what I mean? But when they see me, they kind of think like, and they see me playing the music they like, they think they have respect for me. So, and they think I'm cool in the position I am. So why not capitalize that and use it to be like, hey kids, it's okay to be yourself. Hey, don't bully anybody. Hey, if you see somebody left out, why don't you grab them and go, hey, it could be the dorkiest kid ever. I used to be the dorkiest kid. I'm still a dorky kid. But you guys think I'm cool, right? So you better be nice to him back in the corner, because he'll probably have the best job out of all of us,
Exactly.
And just little tiny things like that you can instill into kids, in an environment like this. The teachers see that and they want you back. The kids, even though they're getting education, they still like the games and the music you play. The parents are like, well, thank God. Like when they come home, when kids ask me for certain songs during parties, I let them know, like, hey, would your mom let you listen to that in the car? And typically, sometimes it backfires, and they're like, "Yeah, I learned the song from my mom." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I don't think that everyone's parents let them listen to that kind of music, and I don't want them to say that they were introduced to it by DJ Brickhouse."
Right.
So I don't want them coming home, singing, some wop, wop, wop. You know what I mean? Like, I would rather them come home singing Baby Shark, do, 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 do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
So
yeah. It's a great,
yeah.
it's a learning experience for them. And what you're doing with that, I just think it's tremendous. It's great. I just love it. So keep that going. We got to make that blow up somehow. I would love that.
Like this song has like a line in it that says, "Go broccoli, go." Like I'm shouting out all the fruits and vegetables.
Right.
And it's a weird thing it's funny when it's like little 1-year-olds. But when you get to like kids with their own phones, you kind of feel like an asshole. Like they're going to be like, "Shove that broccoli up your ass." You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, or adults, you know what I mean? But I've been introducing it in environments where I don't think it'll go, just to see what'll happen. And I do see the parents go broccoli, go, or the kids turn around like, "What did she just say?" or "What's this song?" And they're singing it, and they're like, "I can't forget about broccoli now after you." Just something so stupid like that. And I hated broccoli, but now I love broccoli. And like, go mango, go mango, go.
We'll have to figure out we'll have to release some kind of album like the Kids Bop has, but all your songs, you know?
Dance Jams Volume 1. It's hard to, as a songwriter, I'm sure you guys can understand, like, it just came to me. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't sleep at night because these lines were coming. I haven't had that experience yet, and I don't want to force it. So, thank you to all the producers and the dancers and Joey Heyer. I appreciate you. He recorded my music video for me.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, whenever I do anything, I try to use people in the industry that have a separate talent. Because any DJ, any rapper, any musician, they have a special talent, or they could do your taxes, or they could remodel your house, or anything. They all have secret talent. So keep that in mind when you're looking for different activities or different services. Go to somebody because we all need to support each other's businesses.
That's how I build.
For sure.
That's how we build our life. You know what I mean? Just support everybody. Even today, just a conversation with you it just now opened my whole eyes to different things I didn't know about you. And now when I run into somebody, I'd be like, "Oh, I got somebody for you."
Oh, so it was when I'm DJ Brickhouse. Everybody knows me. I'm a party rocker. I can do clubs. I can do weddings. I can do everything. But then I also have that division of kids. But once you become a wedding DJ or a kid DJ, then apparently you can never DJ in a club again because you're never cool enough. So I had to create 2 separate brands and then mesh them into one. So because Brickhouse had my following, but it wasn't working just saying, "Hey, I'm DJ Brickhouse and I have this." So I had to create that and then piggy off of DJ Brickhouse and kind of bring them together like a little heart,
Right.
So start at the bottom, take them separately and bring them together. So now I can promote DJ Brickhouse as Dance Jams as well, because people weren't getting it. And they see like, "Oh, you only do cruise ships, or you only do weddings, or you only do cruise kids parties." So I wasn't getting any of the cool like club gigs or festival gigs and all that stuff like that. So I had to work extra 10 times harder to build both brands to create one large brand.
Like an umbrella that has all these sub-brands under it.
And I have a photo booth now as well, Dance Jams Photorama. So like just, a whole thing. So just, work on your branding and put in the work. That's how you get to where you want to be. There's no shortcuts. Even if you get a shortcut, you'll still have to work hard in the end.
And look at that shirt she's wearing. I love that. I need it. You're going to have to send us some, or I'll buy some, or whatever.
Yes,
but
I got you.
we definitely need it. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode. That was a great episode. We hope you enjoyed it. Great guests. We're super excited. Each week, we're going to bring you a new interview with cruise staff featuring entertainers, cruise chefs, cruise directors, bartenders, whoever we can find, as well as cruisers themselves that tell their individual stories. And we're going to have special guest celebrities. Theme cruises are super big, so we're going to be interviewing a bunch of people. But Rachel, tell them what they need to do to be notified each week.
What do you mean do? They should have did. So if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button. That way you don't miss any future episodes. And if you want to watch some of the previous episodes, the best place to do that is our website. And that is cruiseshipexplorers.com.
Okay, everybody, you heard it, cruiseshipexplorers.com. Join us each week. We're super excited. Till the next time, see you then.